So, welcome. So, this week I dropped a freebie yesterday called Money Rewired, and this was a creation of mine. Earlier this year, I went really deep on love, money, and body image. And I did a powerful breathwork session followed by an Akashic healing to clear your blueprint, your soul contract of anything, any karma, any implants, anything you've ever received in your life, lifetimes, past, present, parallel, future, that might be hindering your ability to, like I said, connect with love, have the financial freedom and wealth that your soul is wanting, and also release any of those body image issues, self love issues, reconnecting with embodiment. So, anyway, this week I dropped Money Rewired into the freebie because I feel like it's a very important segue into your soul at offer, right? Like, how do you price it? And also, how do you even know how to approach pricing something properly if you have perpetually undercut yourself, or you're living in a land where you're not really sure what you're bringing to the table? You don't see your value, you don't see your worth. Um, so that's what we're talking about today. So if you drop in, say hi in the comments. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tiffany Calhoun. I'm a transformational breathwork facilitator and advanced Akashic channel. And I'm also the creator of Unleashed. It's my 12-week mentorship that helps spiritual entrepreneurs align with their divine design, release subconscious blocks, confidently align to and create their soul led offers without burnout or overthinking, and do all of that in 12 weeks. I'm telling you this because in one of my roles, so today, like I said, we're diving into something that every healer, every coach, every creative needs to hear. It's how to price, how to sell, and how to receive without fear, without force, without burnout, right? So I know firsthand what it feels like to be booked out but burned out. And I was serving everyone and saying yes to everything and keeping my prices low because I thought that made me accessible. And yeah, truthfully, I was just exhausted. I was resentful. I was constantly questioning my value. I was prioritizing the work over other things in my life because, that's what we're told to do. So it wasn't until I started doing this money rewired work and blending my breath work, my nervous system regulation, that deep quantum energy clearing, that everything started to shift. And actually, Unleashed was born during that period of time as well. I realized that my prices weren't the problem, it was my burnout, my nervous system dysregulation that was the burnout. So, we'll talk more about that today. We'll discuss strategies to deal with that. But first, let's just shift from the mind into the body and let them come online. Let's go ahead and place one hand over our heart and one hand on our chest, lower belly. Take a deep breath in through your nose for 4, and out your mouth for 4. In through your nose for 4, and out your mouth for 4. In through your nose for 4, and out your mouth for 4. Good. Beautiful. Continue breathing in safety and exhaling the stress of the day. You can breathe in again and release with a big sigh. Maybe give yourself a shoulder roll. And now say it silently or out loud to yourself: I'm safe to receive. I'm open to abundance that supports my highest good. And notice how it feels in your body, whether it's neutrality, or whether it's calm, or whether it's a little stressful yet, that's okay. You know, we haven't really discussed anything other than a little bit of background about what I've experienced. Um, so today, really, I want to talk about a couple things. I know the freebie this week was pretty unstructured, just with a video, and I've been giving you journals and journaling prompts for the past couple of weeks, but let's talk about how your nervous system determines your earning capacity. Um, so, this is not something that anyone tells you in college, in business school. Um, if you have some energetic mentorships, it's something that they're starting to discuss, but your income ceiling is actually nervous system based and not strategy based. And if your body associates visibility, money, or success, like that hustle, that grind culture, like if your body anticipates a burnout in that state of being, it's going to associate all those things with danger. And you're going to subconsciously cap what you can receive. Um, so you might say that you want 10K months, but if your body thinks that that means working outside of your energetic alignment, resulting in burnout, if your body thinks that that means rejection and that's one of your core wounds, or losing your freedom and that's one of your soul contracts, it will sabotage the opportunity before it lands. Um, so before you ever raise your prices or launch a new offer, the real work is actually creating safety in the body and doing that around receiving more, because safety equals capacity. And so the more we can train our body through evidentiary confirmation bias that safety equals capacity, we will start to remove some of those programs, self sabotage feedback loops, ruminations around the things that you've done in your life that have proven otherwise. Keeping that static state where capacity does not equal safety, right? So, this is why I say your nervous system is actually your most important business partner here. It doesn't feel safe in your body, then it won't feel safe in your bank account, right? It won't feel safe to see that money flow through. And I remember the first time I came into contact with an increase in my salary that shook me, shooketh me to my core. Um, so a little background on me. I am about to turn 42 on Friday. Nope, Saturday. And I graduated MBA school right during the downturn of the economy. So I couldn't find a job and I had to get into corporate America earning just a little bit more than what my bachelor's degree was. And it's because companies weren't willing to pay for talent at that point. And I say talent is just a broad-based word for employees, right? Not like I'm more qualified or less qualified than another candidate that they might have gone with, but in general, it was a very skewed time to get a job. And if you were not aggressive about income leaps, you would potentially just be earning 3 to 5% a year in your annual increases for the lifetime of your career. And so now I've been there for 15 years. And if I wasn't so aggressive about getting my income up, I could potentially still be making like under $100,000, right? Around 2015, I had the joy of having a female boss for the first time. And she was like, women are notoriously underpaid and undervalued, and I want to change that for you. And she put in for an extremely big pay raise when I moved into her role. So she had to go through HR, she had to go through the VP of her organization to justify this woman that she doesn't know, that she wants to bring into her team, that I deserved this big pay raise. At that time, it was 17% or something like that, and corporate will just automatically apply anything less than 7%. Or approve, automatically approve, not apply. So anyway, this was the first time in my life that I was faced with a like, oh shit, she wants to pay me that much? Like, I'm not worth that much. And like, and I knew I was, and I knew I would do amazing in the job, but my nervous system had been told with all my career experience prior, at this point, I'm like 30 years old, 32. It had been told and shown through evidence collected that my value was actually much lower than this. So I was like freaking out in the raw. I had just like palpitations that I wasn't proving my worth. And she sat me down one day and she was like, "You're doing amazing. I need you to believe that I would not have gone to bat for you to bring you up in pay if I didn't believe that your qualifications justified it." I had to swallow that sharp pill of like, this woman sees my potential and I never have. And I think about that a lot now in pricing out my offers and deciding when I want to move on from corporate and move fully into, just coaching others to do the same. And I know like when I when I sit down, I know that my inherent worth is worthy of the prices that I would charge or the prices that I do charge. And I know that because I come with 20 plus years of adult experience that maybe other coaches don't offer, right? I'm a 6'2", I'm a reflector, I'm an advanced acoustic channel. I have all these qualifications. I'm also a mom, I'm a nurturer. I have all of these things going for me. I just need to collect enough evidence, swallow that hard pill of like, girl, get out of your own way, right? And if we don't let it feel safe in our body, it won't feel safe in our bank account. And that's the most important thing that I think a lot of us, we understand that money comes in and money flows out, but to what extent, right? Are we overspending as a way of self-sabotage? These are all things that we talk about in Money Rewired, but it's really good if you haven't listened to it. Okay, so now why charging your worth isn't actually the point. I want to reframe something pretty big. We've all heard like charge your worth, right? And like that goes for corporate as well, like demand your worth, demand what you're worth. But honestly, like the truth of it is we're infinite. We are like super multidimensional beings. Like I just mentioned, my 20 years experience, I'm a mom, I'm a 6'2" reflector, I'm a Akashic, all these things. So my worth is actually infinite, right? And I can't charge that. So let's be real. Like we do need to figure out the prices that help define the container that we are, transforming. So when you think about like, you don't want the prices to define your value per se. We do want the prices to define the container that is required for transformation. So if you're not charging for your time, if you're not charging for your energy, your mastery, if you're not charging for the safe, sacred space that you create for others to expand into, that's where the alignment falls apart, right? So I learned this when I was putting together the precursor of Unleashed. And when I learned this, I took all the emotion. It took all the emotion out of pricing. I stopped asking like, what will people think? And I started asking, what exchange allows me to show up fully without resentment, without depletion, without burnout? And that's what alignment feels like. And when your price supports the transformation, your body supports that price. So alignment basically feels like your price is supporting their transformation and the container that you've created. And then your body is willing to accept that as like accepting of capacity, right? So, how do we anchor into pricing that feels safe? How do we actually find the most aligned number? Here's a framework that I use and I like to guide people through. And we're just going to touch high level on this, but never set your prices from panic or pressure. We always want to ground into it. We always want to escape the mind and move into the body. So, breathwork is actually really key for that. So, breathe, journal, ask your body what feels safe, what feels nourishing, what would be a price point that would meet all of my needs while also creating this container of transformation for this client. You have to make sure you're asking what the container is offering. Is it a quick activation that you're recording and it's pre-recorded and then you're sending it out? Is it a deep mentorship? Is it a weekend retreat or mastermind? Is it a 3, 6, 9, 12-month transformation that's really deep? So the depth really determines the exchange. And then you want to check for contraction. So if your stomach clenches or your heart caves in when you say your price out loud, that's not a fear of charging too much. It's your nervous system remembering its old safety pattern. And so we're going to breathe into that. We're going to observe it. We're going to sit in the moment with it, and we're going to try to place where it is. So you can feel into where it sits in your chakra system. You can assign a meaning because of that. If it's right in your diaphragm, in your like belly, confidence. If it's in your womb space, wounded feminine energy, creative energy. If it's, in your throat, communication has been wounded. You haven't been accepted for what you've spoken in the past. So kind of breathe into it, see it as an observer, do Money Rewired so that you can go through all of these subconscious vignettes of the storyline that I weave in that breath work. It will show you exactly where your wounding is, where your patterning is. It will show you exactly what gifts you are meant to have and who your spirit guides are and how you can set up containers, knowing that you're held and you're fully supported. So it's a really good resource. And then after we breathe into this price and understanding why our body's reacting a certain way, we want to anchor into the energy. We want to say the price out loud, and we want to speak the affirmation of this is a sacred exchange and I'm worthy of being supported for my work. Say the price out loud. This is a sacred exchange and I'm worthy of being supported by my work. And say it until you believe it, right? So if you're wanting to do a weekend away that's a mini mind and there's no energetic support by you, it's just you planning it and pulling in guests and pulling in guest speakers, and all you're doing is showing up as like the host, telling women like, okay, here's what we're doing next, but you're not like doing Reiki and you're not doing massage, you're not cooking the meals, you've just kind of planned and organized. Maybe that's a different price than if you were the planner and the organizer and also doing some kind of healing, doing a workshop, you know what I mean? That would have a much bigger price. Okay, so when the energy feels safe, you'll know it. It won't feel like hustle, it'll feel calm, it'll feel like a blanket, like a nice little warm blanket. And then you'll have seen it as the observer, and you'll be feeling better about that price. So let's just do one more quick breath work to lock this in, just closing your eyes And inhaling deeply for 4, holding it for 7, exhaling for 8, breathing in for 4, holding for 7, exhaling for 8, breathing in for 4, holding for 7, exhaling for 8, and as you breathe, keep breathing in for 4. Imagine a beautiful golden light filling your heart with every inhale. And on the exhale, you're imagining releasing guilt, releasing fear, releasing any unworthiness. And because that exhale is longer, it's calming your nervous system down. It's letting you know that these images of fear, this imprint of guilt, these stories that you've created around unworthiness are free to be released. When your exhale is longer than your inhale, it puts you into this parasympathetic, this rest and digest state of being. And now repeat out loud or silently to yourself, I'm open to receiving. It is safe to prosper. And money flows through me with grace and ease. I'm open to receiving. It is safe to prosper. And money flows through me with grace and ease. One more deep breath in. And exhaling it out. Beautiful. So this is what Money Rewired is all about. It's not about chasing anymore. It's about expanding your capacity to receive safely. If anything that I talked about today resonated, you can go deeper with Money Rewired. You can listen to it as many times as you need to. Each time you'll peel back more and more layers. I know it is a big ask. It is 2 hours, but even if you can just breathe for a little bit of time, you will get a lot out of it. It is a 2-hour session. It clears the energetic, emotional, and nervous system layers that block abundance, so you can actually hold it when it finally arrives. And if you're ready to build your entire business from this kind of alignment, this is exactly what we do in Unleashed. In 12 weeks, we connect to your soul-led offer, your energetic design, and the confidence to lead from overflow instead of survival. So if you are interested in learning more, you can book a discovery call. We can find out if it's the right fit. There are 70 days left in the year. And if you started Unleashed now, you could have your soul-led offer ready to launch by the end of January, which would be a beautiful way to start 2025. The amount of things that we would channel in that container together would set you up for the rest of the year as well. And don't forget, we have Power Hour tonight from 5 to 6. This is where we go deep in on all of our action, co-working together, listening to some lo-fi beats, and just getting the work done in a flow state. So thank you for being here today and for doing this work and for remembering that money is not your master, it's your mirror. I love you all. I will see you inside the group. Drop your questions below and also enjoy Money Rewired. All right. Bye, everyone.